Hello viewers, welcome to Elimu TV, which is your station, your channel where you get to watch, learn and experience. I'm your tutor Mr. Mwangi Francis and I'm taking you through physics form 3. So stay tuned and do follow the lesson through. So we have introduced ourselves to uh, Newton's laws of motion. We've talked about the first Newton's law, the law of inertia. We have introduced ourselves to the second Newton's law of motion, and this lesson we are going to refer to Newton's third law of motion. So stay tuned and do follow the lesson through. So what are the goals of this lesson? By the end of this lesson, we'll have achieved the following. Number one, we'll be able to state Newton's third law, and we will be able to apply Newton's third law of motion in determining what we refer to as recoil velocity. So let's state Newton's law of motion. So Newton's law of motion states that if a body P exerts pressure or force on another body Q, body Q will exert an equal force in magnitude to body P, provided that the line of force remains constant. So in simple terms, we say that for every action there is equal reaction. That is, action is equal to reaction. So how do we then apply Newton's third law in solving some certain questions? Let's refer to, for instance, an explosion. This is a perfect example of where Newton's third law of motion is applied. Before an explosion, the total momentum is zero. As momentum is conserved, the total momentum afterwards must also be zero. So this means that the different parts of the exploding body must move in different directions. So let's take an example. In this case, an artillery gun has a mass of 1,500 kilogram, and it fires a shell of mass 20 kg at a velocity of 150 meters per second. So we are required to determine what we call recoil velocity. So in this case, we need to understand that the shell of the mass at this point uh, moves in a given direction, which is considered to be positive, and therefore it means the gun itself, with its mass, since its momentum is conserved, uh, it must also move in the opposite direction for momentum to be conserved. That is, the direction of motion of these two bodies must be considered. One is considered to be positive, while the other one is considered to be negative. So let's look at another application where we may be required to use Newton's third law of motion to solve a problem. For instance, we have a girl of mass 60 kilogram who throws a boy, and the mass of the boy is 90 kilogram out of a swimming pool as the velocity at a velocity of 2 meters per second. So we are required to determine the recoil velocity. Remember that the girl is not stationary in the pool, so he need to exert some force so that he can be able to push the boy off the boat. So her will experience, or she will experience, a mass or a force which will be the recoil velocity. So how do we get to solve this? Remember that the total momentum before and after throwing the boy is zero. So momentum is given by mass times velocity. So the boy's mass momentum is therefore 90 kilogram multiplied by positive 2 meters per second, which gives us positive 180 kilogram meters per second. The positive sign in this case shows the direction. This must cancel out the momentum of the girl, and therefore the momentum of the girl must therefore be 180 kilogram meters per second. So the gun also in the previous question, you will understand that the gun's recoil velocity must cancel out the velocity of the bullet, which is given by 60 multiplied by the recoil velocity, and it gives us negative 180 kilogram meters per second, and therefore the recoil velocity will be 180 divided by 60, which gives us 3 meters per second. So the gun will recoil or move to the left at a velocity of 3 meters per second. So let's see whether we have been able to understand how to apply Newton's law of motion, the third law, and try to attempt the same question but with different uh, figures. So in this case, a girl of mass of 80 kilogram throws a boy of mass 100 kg out of a swimming pool at a velocity of 5 meters per second. So we are required to determine the recoil velocity of the girl, and this will be, we are required also to use the same concept and try to solve the question once again. So we can refer this to secondary physics students book 3, or you can give us a text through the numbers on your screen, which is as you can read. Then we have our Facebook page or YouTube channel at Elimu TV, or you can give us a tweet at Elimu TV _KE. So once again, I'm your tutor, Mr. Mwangi, and stay tuned for more